What's up, gamer girls? It is I, Fowler. Welcome to my production stream. Today's stream is actually brought to you in part by Eswin and Canada, because it's Canada Day and Canada. So there you go. Thank you, Canada. Thank you, Eswin. Yeah, if you're new here, we just hang out, we listen to music, we listen to music, and then we listen to music, and we try to listen to the music as well. And provide our thoughts. If you want to submit for next week's stream, head over to my Discord channel. It's discord.gg/FowlerMusic, FWLR Music. Yeah, okay, let's get right into the news. We are heading over to FL Studio, the Breakfast of Champions, and we're going to listen to KOTOR B5, Sit Back and Vibe, updated version. All right. Let's have a listen. Also, I was just about to say, if you want an Eswin t-shirt or other Eswin merch, go to bit.ly/Eswin merch. Raham just shared that link. Thank you, Raham. Okay, let's have a listen and see what KOTOR has been up to. And if I'm pronouncing that wrong, too bad. Okay, this is really good. I can't remember what my feedback was the previous time that you sent it in, but it's sounding really nice. I think that the vocals could maybe come up in this section, because we're kind of relying on the vocals to carry us through, and the vocals are really good. I think it says "You Should Be Here With Me." It's really nice and emotional, and I think it delivers on the vibe of the song, but they're just kind of low. Like, they're just kind of in the mix a bit too much. I'd like them to be on top of the mix. And also, when this moment happened, I almost wonder what would happen if you had, like, smaller drums that come in. I feel like there's not enough that happens at that moment. It is starting to build up and whatnot, but I feel like you could maybe have this filled out a little bit more with kind of maybe a lo-fi like kick and snare or kick and clap that just doesn't have the real beefiness to it, so that when we come back to the main section, it still feels like a step up in energy. It's It's pretty progressive, it's pretty chill, I like that. It's not a huge moment when this beat comes back in, but I'm not sure that it needs to be, like, this massive, like, "Ah!" moment, you know? Um, I love the up an octave lead thing, the lo-fi lead thing, I love that, but at the same time, if the vocals were more present in this section, and then it said, "You should be here with me," and then the beat kicked in, I feel like that would be like a, like a big goosebump moment, right? I do feel like I don't know, I know the kick is not, you don't wanna like a hardstyle kick or anything, but the kick is quite subtle or deep or dull or something. This is just nitpicking though, because like the vibe of the track is really good. I really do think that if the vocals were more present and it happened right before the drop came back in, that would really be a big like uplifting moment, you know? You should be here with me, and then boom, into the drop. And it might be a little challenging to do that in like a non-cliche way, build, 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 vocal, sample, drop. But at the same time, I mean, there's a reason why that happens so often. It's because it's effective. So maybe embrace that. Besides that, it's quite gentle on the master. I mean, I can probably add like 5 or 6 dB easily to that. So you can see how much louder I've been able to make it, with no real loss to any quality. And I was also able to pull down the low end a little bit and bring up the top end, because I did feel like the sonic kind of footprint of this is very sloped down. It's very loud in the bass and not quite as loud. Like all the frequencies are there, but they're just a little out of balance. So just by doing that, it gains a lot. Really good track. It sounds dope and I enjoy it. I think it could use some minor differences. And how long are we? 3.5? I don't know. Master it up, send it out, done deal. It sounds good. Turn the vocals up. I like it. Okay, moving on. Good job. Thanks for sending. This one is ISCIAEIEAEIO. There's no O, but it's called This is like this reminds me of like if there's like some dude sitting on a bench and he's like really high on some drugs, and then the camera just zooms into his brain and it's just like a circus. I mean, part of me wants to tell you to never change. Like, this is so weird, but I like it. I don't know what like box this fits in, and maybe that's a good thing. I don't know, but it's different and it's weird. I think that maybe this the bright thing is maybe a little too upfront and a little too like bright. Okay, there's some shit happening. Let's I think some subtle side chaining would help with that big kick and the bass and whatnot. But honestly, I'm having a hard time coming up with like feedback for this. I need to open the door. I'm cooking. One sec. Oh, it's warm in here today. It is side chained. Okay, interesting. I wasn't hearing like I wasn't hearing that clipping that I think it was your track last week that had like the kick and the bass coming through. So congrats. That is definitely an improvement. Maybe just a little, I don't know, a little bit more or something. I don't know. Maybe not. Yeah, if I were to sum this track up in one word, I think the word would be random. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it does make it hard for me to understand what kind of advice to give you on this, because it's so random. It's fun to listen to. The mix doesn't sound that bad. Maybe the kick could come down so that the other things could come up a bit, but like there's no obvious mix problem. It's just so strange. I don't like that. So sorry if that is not the most useful feedback. I think that's the best I'm going to be able to do. So thanks for sending. We're going to move on. All right. This is Westbrook's flip of Industry Baby. This is the one that we tried to listen to last week, but it was corrupt or something. So here we go. Okay, this is really awesome. The vocals are super buried. Like I know the song, so I kind of know what's going on, but especially when there's like the sound design basses coming in. It's a really cool remix. I think that right now it kind of feels like you made a track and threw the vocals on top of it. And I think that is my biggest concern with it right now, is that the vocals just don't sound like they fit in any creative way. They just kind of sound on top of. Yeah, the vocals just kind of seem like they're like rambling on with the track. And I don't think it would take much work to carve out a space for the vocals. I just don't think that there is a space right now for them.
Too long ago on the road, I got what they waiting for. You was never really rooting for me anyway. When I'm back up at the top, I wanna hear you say, I told you long ago on the road, I got what they waiting for.
Okay, so this second drop is much better in terms of the vocals because you didn't try to put the whole verse on top of it.
Too long ago on the road, I got what they waiting for.
Just down, like you're using them more as a sample as opposed to like trying to drop the whole verse on top of the track, which is, I think, the better way of doing it. And then and then you're a little bit lighter on the sound design during this part because the vocals are there. It's almost like you have to pick sections and be like, this is a vocal section, this is a wub section, or like a sound design section, or be more creative with call and response. But with this verse, it's like constant words the whole time. So it's hard to focus on the vocals and the sound design at the same time. But this second drop is much better in that sense than the first drop. And then obviously just, you know, it could be mastered a bit louder like I just roughly did. I got what they waiting for. Nothing, dog. Get your soul. Just tell them ain't laying low. It's really good though. This is a dope remix and it's really fun. So yeah, just try to, I think the biggest concern is just getting the vocals, giving them their own space, so that I can hear what he's saying. Okay, cool. Moving on. We're listening to, whoopsies, Eswin remix of Madion, Love You Back.
moment in time, and we give it a try, 'cause we need us to learn.
Nice. I love the amen break. Yeah, it sounds really deep, and I'm almost thinking that it's a little heavy in the sub range.
Why it's so hard to know it's alright, but it's still a little while, 'cause it makes us feel.
Like the sub bass sounds like it's maybe 3 dB too loud. It's not far off, but it's just a little too sub heavy. Prodfire, you can submit your track on my Discord server. It's discord.gg/FWLR music, which is Fowler music. All right, let's listen to this second drop. Yeah, I mean, this sounds great. I don't remember what the notes were from the last time you sent, but besides the sub bass being a little heavy, a little bit overpowering, it sounds great to me. Maybe the vocals could be a little louder, which is kind of a common theme among everybody, I think. Maybe I just like my vocals louder than most people. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's really just the sub bass being a little bit too loud. Besides that, it sounds great. It's nice. It's nice and loud. If I bring the sub bass down, I need to punch the overall volume back up to make up for that drop in amplitude. But besides that, it sounds really good, man. Good job. That's really all I think I have to say about that. It's a great track, very melodic, lots of cool. I really like the automated reverb or so, whatever's going on there to make it kind of feel like it's like falling out and coming back. Like that's really cool. I love that. I love when tracks have neat elements that kind of catch me off guard a little bit like that. So good job. All right, let's listen to Bleed, Audible Disease, Whippy AF. All right. Okay. This is like, I could just picture Jello doing this to it. It's pretty cool. I think that it's very scooped. It sounds like it's like crazy sub, crazy top end, but the mid-range has kind of been neglected. It's definitely got some girth to it. I just think if there was more connective tissue between the low end and the high end, it would make a bit more sense to me mix wise. If we let's look at the spectrum on it. Yeah, see this massive hump in the bottom end, and then it gets quite bright, and there's this dip between like, I don't know, 200 hertz and 1,000 hertz ish. And it's not like an EQ thing. I think it's the sound selection, and it might be a little bit of EQ thing. Maybe if you got a bunch of stuff scooped, but it's just like you have this very powerful sub and very bright, distorted sounds and hi-hats and top drums. It just needs some girth in the mid range, I think. Specifically the low mids. I wasn't sure how I felt about the clap on it. I don't know. I can't really imagine a better clap, but Google Drive links don't work. You gotta post them in the Discord so I can download it right from Discord, just because that makes it easy and uniform. I don't know. The clap just reminds me of like 2015 Vengeance drum loops or something, and not necessarily in a good way, but maybe that's just my personal preference. I'd just be interested to see what it sounds like if it had a different clap. But if you love the clap, then tell me to go fuck myself, and we're all good. Yeah, biggest problem with this so far, I think, is pay attention to that low mid range so that we have some connection between the super lows and the super highs. And I know that this is very early on in the production process for you, so really no worries. Just keep that in mind as you move forward. Really cool, really aggressive. I could almost hear like a big like sync, you know what I mean? Synth solo, like a sync kind of lead, like a haywire lead sort of thing on top of it. Cool. All right, keep going, and feel free to send it in once you do some more work to it. Next up, Beautiful Dreamer by, I'm not sure because they didn't put their name in the title. Okay, this is really beautiful and dreamy. The musicality of it, everything except the drums is incredible. The drums, on the other hand, are not incredible. The kick drum is inaudible almost, I think. Yeah, like all I can hear is kind of like your subby, detuny bass thing in the bottom end. Like everything except the drums sounds dope to me, but it's specifically the kick drum is just like I can hear the click of it, I think. I don't feel any punch coming from my sub bass. All I feel is like the solid sustain of that bass note. So having a really nice punchy kick happening with the side chaining, dipping the deep bass out of the way, so we have that rhythm in the bottom end. Like let's do an experiment. Let's take only the sub range and listen to that. So like we can hear the bass, you can hear a bit of a rhythm going, but it's not an obvious rhythm. In comparison, let's keep the same frequency range soloed and listen to that last track that we just heard. Right? So we have an example of like very obvious kick drum in the sub range. Over here, not quite the case. So that's my biggest gripe with the song is like the musicality of it is really good, really great. But the kick drum, it almost sounds like the drums have been high passed or something. Like there's just no punch in the bottom end. We need punch in the bottom end. Like it's got everything except that bottom end rhythm that keeps us kind of vibing to it. Let's see if it changes up. Yeah, all of the elements sound dope except the kick. The kick almost sounds like it's up an octave. Hearing like a boom, boom, boom. What's up, everybody who has arrived? Hello and hi, and also hello. Yeah, this is a great song. It just needs a kick drum. That didn't rhyme, but the way I said it implied that it rhymed. All right, now, I have heard rumors through the grapevine that this track might be a little bit loud. It might be a little bit compressed. It might be a little bit sausaged. And it's looking to me like the rumors could potentially be accurate and true. Because I don't know, there's either no audio or 100% of the audio in this waveform. I can see a little, maybe this is a breakdown. I feel like if we make it to this section, our ears will really thank us for this little, like this is where the ears will inhale. You'll hear your ears inhaling. I'm going to go ahead and preemptively take about, I don't know, 18 decibels out of this one. And I'm going to bypass this. Okay, keep in mind, I have taken 18 decibels out of this project, or out of this audio waveform. And let's have a listen. Man, I can't even imagine what that would have been like without 18. Like that was still loud, 18 decibels turned down. Okay, I just need real quick. Everybody, I'm going to give you a warning. I've turned it back to the original volume because I just want to listen to like 3 seconds of it. So you have been warned, and here we go. Oh my God. Are you kidding me? What? Oh my God, I can't even believe. Oh, Jesus Christ. This is too loud. Too loud. I'm sweating more than I originally was because of this song. I don't even know how to give you any feedback besides chill out. Like, chill out. It's too loud. Take off your mastering effects, mix it properly, and then make it loud, but don't make it this loud. This is like, I'm gonna, like, how can I see, like, okay, here we go. This is the peak. Let's see what the RMS is. I'm going to mute the master. What? Oh my God, the RMS is above 0. You have broken physics. Insane. I am impressed. I wouldn't listen to this, but I am nonetheless impressed. This is the loudest song I've ever played. Ever. So maybe turn it down. Aggressive is one thing. Being this loud, like, for example, I think it's that thing that's really hitting the master limiter so hard that the kick and snare drum aren't even coming through. So we're losing any form of rhythm. Like, I'm going to turn it back down, way down. Yeah, like we don't have any rhythm. You can be aggressive without being 0 dB. And I saw some Singularity say, bet it sounds different in the DAW. Maybe it does. But whatever's happening in the master bus, if it's not a guitar distortion pedal, I don't know what it is, because it's just too much. Too much. I don't and don't, like, there's some cool ideas in there, but it's just too much. Turn it down, chill out. I hope that doesn't seem too harsh. I just think that being aggressive and being 0 dB RMS are two different things, and you can be aggressive without being loud. Okay. Yes, I'm going to move on. Turn this way down and send it next week, and then I'll have a listen, and then maybe I can give you a bit more constructive criticism besides turn it down. All right, moving on. Waiting for You by Bolts. Oops, sorry, I stopped it. Yeah, there's some cool stuff in here. I definitely have some thoughts. So my first thought is the kick drum. Hold on, let me just listen to it again. First of all, those first two notes are so low that, hold on, let me see if I can feel it on the subwoofer. Okay, I can feel it on my subwoofer, but I can't hear it in my ears. So I maybe put those up an octave. I don't know what notes they are. Let's see. Do I have my 3 oscillator here? I do. Okay, so it sounds like it's G sharp and then an A. Yeah, because that third note that comes in, I can hear it nice and clearly. It's definitely up in that range of us being able to hear it. Those first two notes, they just kind of sound like noise because they're so low. Also, I don't know if I don't think you're sidechaining to your main snare, like not all the little offbeat snares, but like that main snare that happens. I would sidechain to that snare in this style as well because there's so much stuff happening. Like we need something rhythmic that punches through nice and clearly to give us like, hey, this is the rhythm, you know? I feel like the super saws are maybe pushing it a little bit hard. They're very like hitting the master limiter. I'd also maybe try a different kick drum. This one sounds a little hollow or something. It's definitely giving me some like Flume vibes and stuff. I think your bottom end having those too low notes, like the notes that are too low, and I think there are two of them, it really loses its power at the start of the drops because I can't hear the sustained fundamental notes. Like I can't hear the ba ba. So I think that needs to be addressed, and then maybe chill out on the super saws a bit in terms of how loud they are and how hard they're hitting the limiter. And sidechain to the snare as well. No, I don't think you should sidechain to your offbeat snares, like your ghost snares, whatever you want to call them. But just especially like the main snare. I think if you sidechain to that, you'll find that all of a sudden the track has a lot more punch, and it might alleviate some of that like harshness that's coming from the constant attack on my ears from the super saws because they are quite harsh. But if they keep dipping out every time the snare hits, maybe that alleviates it. I think they could still come down and maybe EQ out some of the high mids like. Like I pulled 4 dB out of this whole area and I don't hate it. So I think you got a lot of energy up in this 3 to 5 kHz. Yeah, I would say and I wouldn't do it in the master. I would find like the between the super saws and the arpeggio diddle 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 thing. Those are the main elements that are really nailing that frequency range. So sidechain to your main snare. Maybe experiment with some other kicks. See if there's something else that sounds a little bit better. If you love that kick, then whatever. But I'm just thinking there might be something a bit better. Turn to control. I don't know if it's a volume thing or it's mostly the 3 to 5 kilohertz in that arpeggio super saw thing that's bothering me in the harshness range, but it is quite harsh. Otherwise, it's a cool track. I like the track. I like what's going on. Song wise, it's cool. I like it. I don't have any real negative things to say about that. I just think that the bass notes are too low. Sidechain to the snare. Fuck around with the harsh frequencies. Okay, moving on. Thanks for sending. This one is called... Wait a minute. We just did that one. Okay, this one's called This Place by PGX featuring S Blaze.
When you found me, I was still lost. Never knew anybody but you and myself.
This is a big step up from the last track that you sent in terms of like vocal performance, in my opinion. A couple things that you're gonna find that really helps make your vocals sound more of a professional level is, let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Right there. I knew exactly where it was. The little mouth noises, go and cut those out. They don't need to be there. That when I and a lot of people, they'll hear that. They won't necessarily know why it makes them feel like it's not professional, but they hear those mouth noises, especially with the reverb echoing off of them. And that just gives it kind of this like amateur feel, right? So go in, snip those things out. Sometimes you might have to do another vocal take, but get rid of the mouth sounds. They're not doing us any favors. Also, the use of, it almost sounds like really, it sounds like slapback delay or like really lo-fi reverb. I think, like Graham says, makes the vocal work feel less deliberate. Like when we hear the mouth noises or any sort of background noise that's not supposed to be there, all of a sudden it kicks us out of the song and makes us think about you making the song and recording the song and sitting in your room with a microphone. Like it takes us out of the song and puts us in like the process of you recording it. I think that's what it is. But anyway, regardless, you said you already took it out, so no big deal. I do think that your vocals are much better in this one than the last track you sent, but they're still a little bit pitchy. So I would keep working on, if you want to be a vocalist, you gotta consistently practice, warm up, train yourself, train your voice, and then at the end of the day, when you record them, if you get takes that you like but they're still a little bit pitchy, no big deal. Learn how to use Melodyne or a similar product, and then just touch them up. The female vocals, they sound good. There's still a little bit of pitchiness. Like this is a good performance, but you can hear her go, woo, like there's like an unintentional note as she's bending up to the right note. So she's kind of passing through like a wrong note to get to a right note. And that's where Melodyne would come in really handy, because you're able to go and, if there's like this sloppy rise to the right note, you can kind of tweak it a little bit, bend it, make it not perfect, but not as distracting for these like flaws. Because there's a few moments where they're just the notes are a little sloppy. And there's a little... Those ones are harder to take out because they're in amongst the vocal recording. Like they're not in between lines, so you can't just cut them. I use a tool called RX7, which is extremely expensive for some reason. It works really well for this sort of stuff, but what you might have to do is just get a different take, or you might be able to cut it and crossfade it and do some surgery. It's kind of in amongst all the music, and there's lots of reverb. So you might be able to cut that little mouth click out and do some surgery there. The vocals overall are quite low in volume. To remain in this place, tied to you. To remain in this place. Especially here. And I think this is a problem that a lot of vocalists that are mixing their own stuff encounter, because you got to think, if you're mixing your own vocals and the vocal, the lyrics and the melody and everything, you're kind of singing along in your head with it while you're mixing it. So you're like adding to the volume of the vocals. But when somebody else listens to it, we don't get that same effect, and the vocals are buried now. And there might also be a little bit of insecurity built in. I think everybody does that. Like, they're like, I don't want it to be right up front. I want it to be in the mix because it's a little bit more comfortable to have it there. But the result is that I can't hear what you're saying, and the vocals just sound poorly mixed because they're underneath the drums. To remain in this place, time. Musically, it's great. I don't have any issues with it musically. The drums are a little loud. The kick drum has a lot of transient, a lot of like that. Has a lot of that sound, doesn't have a lot of low end to it. All I can hear in the low end is like your bass, I think. Yeah, if we listen to just the sub range, I'm almost just hearing like the side chain. Ma, 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 ma. I'm not hearing the boom, ba, boom, ba, boom, ba, you know? So that's the sort of thing I would maybe focus on. Also, the drums sound like they could be compressed a bit more, because if you see all these really big peaks that snap through, they're like cutting through really loudly. But the overall volume of it's kind of weird. Like the overall volume of the drums isn't that loud, but the peaks of them are loud. But anyway, if I were you, I would keep focusing on the musical aspect of it and slowly improve on your production side of things, because there's lots of people that could help you out with the production, but there's not a lot of people that could help you with your own voice, with singing, with writing music and stuff. So I would keep it up. I would say that you've made a large improvement since the last track that you sent, and congratulations on that, and that's dope. Cool. All right, thanks for sending. We're gonna move on. 10 Toe 2 Adrenaline. I remember saying this person's artist name last week. I don't remember if this is the same track. I feel like I went out trick-or-treating and somebody put acid in my Jolly Ranchers. This is insane. It's very cool. The biggest thing that struck me immediately, and you saw me pull up the mid-side EQ, is they're not a lot on the side channels. Like, this is me soloing the stereo channels. And then this is me soloing the mid channel. So this problem of having stuff congested in the center channel of the stereo field is, it's funny. People tend to either go one of two ways. They put too much in the center and nothing on, or not enough on the outside, or they go everything is super wide, like every single element is pushed to the maximum stereo and there's nothing in the center. This is on the first example. There's too much stuff just piled in the center, and especially considering how much shit is happening per unit of time. Like, we're getting a lot of information thrown at us, and all of it, almost all of it, is in the center channel. If you were able to spread some stuff out into the stereo width, then we might be able to discern different elements a little bit better from each of the other elements, right? You're throwing a lot of information at us, and you're not making use of the entire stereo field. So that's just a lot to kind of digest down the center. Also, you should check out my friend John Bob. He's a producer from the East Coast. He makes crazy shit like this, like wacky drum and bass stuff, and you should check him out, because maybe you'll find some inspiration there. Oh my God! Okay. Yeah, it's really, honestly, I think the snare could be a little bit more punchy, but I think the biggest takeaway from this track is really try to figure out how to put each element in its own space. And that doesn't mean like, oh, I'm going to pan this sound 30% left and I'm going to pan this sound 30% right. It's like making use of unison, making use of maybe chorus or a little bit of really short reverb, or just finding ways to spread stuff out, because we have this big sound stage that we're able to use of frequency, volume, and panning. And it's a three-dimensional space that you have to fit all of your elements. And you've just taken all of your elements and kind of lumped them in the center. So this is kind of in a league all of its own in terms of style. Besides John Bob, like it's hilarious. This could be a John Bob track. And that's not to say that you guys sound like each other, but just like the overall genre or style. I don't hear a lot of people doing this like insane drum and bass wacky shit. I don't even know what you call it. It's cool and it's unique and it's weird, and I love that about it. I really think all you got to do is make your snare a little punchier, like more bottom end, like thunk, like the bottom end of the snare where the fundamental is. And then just experiment with stereo width. You don't have to go crazy. You don't have to put everything super wide, but you just have a lot of space. Like, yeah, yeah. I think that's it. I think that's what you need to do with this track is find places to put stuff in the stereo field. Cool. All right. Thank you for that adrenaline, which definitely is a good name. All right, Singularity, you're up. Plug your ears. My track is coming up. All right. I'm not going to plug my ears. That would be pretty counterproductive. I am going to normalize it. Boom. Instant gain. Sorry, I had the stereo monoed. Okay, cool. I didn't have to plug my ears. There was only one thing that sounded off to me. It was some of these notes. There's like a wrong note in there. I don't think those notes fit in the scale. Besides that, musically, I enjoy what's happening. It's a major seventh. Okay, well, you've already flexed more of a musical knowledge on me than I have. But to me, it doesn't sound good to my ears. Okay, I have idea. I have an idea. I think I figured it out. The problem I'm having with the bass is that it's too complex, and when I expect it to hit the root note of the chords that are being played, it does like it starts on the wrong note and works its way down to the right note. You know what I mean? Like, I think like it's okay to have the bass line move it around, but like I think when it first hits at the start of the chord, it should probably be the root, the ba, instead of the ba da. Same there. I think it's spending too much time away from the root note, and it's making it sound like the bass is like doing its own thing. It's going off on its own side quest, and the chords and everything are on the main quest. You know what I mean? Yeah. I also think the kick drum is maybe too loud. Right here, you could have a Reese low, like sub bass thing playing the chord progression, like that underneath of this bright synth thing. Let's figure out what note it is. Yeah, I think adding a bass underneath that bright synth will add like drama or add like a seriousness or something, an urgency. And then simplifying the sub bass, I think, is going to be the move. I do like when I like when bass lines walk around a little bit, but I just think it needs to be anchored in the root note of the chord a little bit more, especially at the start. Because if you're playing a chord progression and then all of a sudden the bass goes up to a different note than what the chord is playing, until we hear it drop down to the right note, we're like, which chord is being played? You know, are we going up or are we going down? That's my main thought. And then continue. And also have a bit more confidence in yourself, because I think this is sounding cool and I didn't need to plug my ears, and that's a good thing. All right, thanks for sending. We're going to do our last track for today. Melodic House by somebody, or, maybe the artist is named Melodic House and the track is named 1.1. Okay, I see Raham and Eswin are arguing about the kick drum. I like the kick drum. I think I think I'm gonna go halfway between Raham and Eswin. I think the kick drum could maybe have a little bit of a transient. Not much. I think it could be a little bit more transient-y. I don't think it's the wrong kick. I think it could have a transient added to it, because everything else about the kick feels good to me. It's really nice. Like, this track's really nice. I feel like vocals or a melody, like a lead line, what I don't know, something. You've created like this really nice, embracing, like hot tub of a track, or like hot springs. I feel like I'm being submerged in warm milk. And that sounds disgusting and probably would smell pretty bad too, but I mean it in the most respectful way. It's very nice, and whatever this is. However, you've created this nice place to exist in, but now give us a main character, give us a focal point, give us something to get stuck in our head. Because right now, I don't know, it's just like it's just a nice place to be, right? I want to be in this nice place with somebody else, and somebody else would be vocals or melody, you know? I want to exist in this place with somebody else. Yes, this song doesn't need milk. It has enough milk. I think that you should just, like, I don't know, go outside. I'm pretty sure, just go outside, walk up to somebody and take them and ask them to sing on your track. Like, there's a bit of a melody, but it's almost like a counter melody, or like, I don't know. It's not really like a hook or like anything that I can sink my teeth in. If somebody asked me to hum this track to them, or if I was like, "Hey, have you heard this song?" and then I do it with my mouth, it would not. I wouldn't be able to explain it to anybody, right? Unless I like sat there and played the chords with my mouth, but I can't do that. If it had like a doodle-doo-doo-doo or whatever, like, or some vocal line, or this track could really use vocals. That's all there is to it. I think this track has lots of really nice room for a beautiful vocal to sit in the middle, and then I get to exist in this warm milk with a beautiful vocal. If that doesn't make sense to you, you're tuned into the wrong stream. But it's really good. Like, it's such a nice place to be. Like I said, that's the best way I can describe this song. Is it's just a nice place to be, and it feels like warm milk. So get a vocalist, do a lead. I see Eswin suggested listening to the Atlas album for some inspiration. I don't know that album, but or that artist, but or wait, no, I do know the artist. I don't know which album he's talking about. Singularity says, I feel safe listening to this. Yeah, warm milk and cookies, the safety of warm milk and cookies. That could be, you know what? That I wouldn't even be surprised if this song was called the safety, the safety of warm milk and cookies. There. Like, that doesn't even seem weird to me. That seems right. Nick, could you elaborate on the importance of having a couch in the studio? Hold on, I think there's an animal trying to get in. Hell. Okay, I think we're good. The importance of having a couch. Well, where else am I going to lay down when I want to lay down? I don't know. Okay, that's it for this week. Thank you very much for tuning in and hanging out with me. I love you all. And if you want to submit for next week, go to my Discord server, discord.gg/FWLR music. And as soon as you join, in the rules section, hold on a sec, let's drag this over. This is the rules section. And of course, this is in the way. Oh my God. Hold on. I'm just messing up my OBS. Hold on. I got it. This is not worth the effort I'm putting into it. Okay. Here, if as soon as you join, you'll be in the rules section. This just explains how we prefer you upload your tracks, and then drop them in production feedback, tag production feedback stream. That way I know which ones, because if you want to upload some stuff you're working on, but you don't want it to be on the stream, just don't tag production feedback stream, and then we can still give feedback and whatnot. All right. Thank you, Eswin, for sponsoring this stream, and thank you, Canada, for being Canada Day. Thank you, Canada Day, for being. And I hope you guys have a good weekend.